Did that just happen? Ao Ruipeng carries Bai Lu like a true prince. In the dazzling world of entertainment, where every smile is curated and every shot calculated, it's rare for something so raw, so genuinely touching, to slip through the cracks, and yet, that's exactly what happened when a behind-the-scenes video of Bai Lu being lifted bridal style by Ao Ruipeng unexpectedly went viral. It wasn't part of the script. It wasn't a high-budget scene. It was simply a fleeting moment, just a few seconds long, captured during the promotional period of their new drama, Moonlight Destiny, BCH Ngait PHN Ting, and yet it resonated with audiences more deeply than most cinematic love scenes. In the video, Ao Ruipeng effortlessly lifts Bai Lu in the classic princess carry, holding one of her shoes in the other hand, a playful nod to a social media trend, but one that took on an entirely new level of meaning in the way it was done. His grip was secure yet tender. Her expression, a mix of surprise and delight. Together, they created an image that felt like a scene from a fairy tale, pure, dreamlike, and unforgettable. It didn't take long for the video to dominate Douyin's trending charts. Within mere hours, it had amassed millions of views, countless likes, and thousands of comments from fans and romantics alike, swept away by the chemistry and warmth that radiated from that simple, beautiful act. There was something unmistakably special in the way Ao Ruipeng looked at Bai Lu, a gaze that carried admiration, protection, and a hint of amusement. Bai Lu, radiant in his arms, didn't just look like an actress being carried for a promo, she looked like someone who was truly seen and cherished, if only for that moment. Their body language was natural, unrehearsed. There were no exaggerated reactions or overacting. Instead, there was trust. Ease. Chemistry so effortless that even silence between them seemed to hum with meaning. Initially meant as a cute video to engage fans, the moment evolved into something far greater. Fans didn't just share the clip, they created slowed-down edits, added romantic ballads, wrote fan fiction, and flooded social media with hashtags like #PrincessCarry and #FairytaleRealness. He didn't just lift her, he made us believe in love again. The way Ao Ruipeng looked at Bai Lu, that's not acting. This is what modern romance should feel like, unforced, tender, genuine. Many netizens even called it the Cinderella lift, noting how Bai Lu had only one shoe on when he carried her, a small detail that added a whole layer of symbolic beauty to the scene. In that fleeting moment, Bai Lu was more than just a beautiful face. She was vulnerability wrapped in elegance, grace shaped by authenticity. Her soft laugh, the glimmer in her eyes, the way she relaxed in his arms, it wasn't performance. It was presence. She didn't need a tiara or a throne. She became royalty simply by being herself, confident, joyful, and unafraid to surrender to the sweetness of the moment. Ao Ruipeng, a modern prince who leads with gentle strength. There's something quietly powerful about a man who doesn't seek attention but commands it anyway through presence alone. Ao Ruipeng didn't show off. He didn't flex. He simply lifted, supported, smiled, and in doing so, captured the collective sigh of millions. He turned a fleeting moment into a memory. A lift into a promise. A smile into a story. In a world that moves too fast, this was a moment worth pausing for. We scroll. We swipe. We forget. But once in a while, a piece of content lingers. Not because it was shocking or loud, but because it was soft, sincere, and full of heart. The princess carry of Bai Lu and Ao Ruipeng was that kind of moment. A gentle whisper amid a noisy world. A visual poem where no words were needed. A memory we didn't know we needed, but one we'll treasure for a long time to come. Have you watched it yet? Don't let this moment slip by. If you haven't seen it yet, don't miss the video that made millions smile, sigh, and believe again, in kindness, in connection, in the possibility of something beautiful growing between two people who may or may thank you so much for watching. If this moment touched your heart the way it touched ours, we invite you to like this video to share the love. Comment below, what did you feel when you saw the lift? Did it remind you of your own fairy tale dream? Subscribe to our channel for more sweet behind-the-scenes content, touching love stories, and unforgettable C-drama chemistry. Share this with a friend who needs a little magic in their day. Let's celebrate the gentle, the real, the moments that speak volumes, even in silence.